Hey everybody, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to do the Cluster Shell Crochet Stitch. I have this pattern for free with a picture tutorial on my website, but I thought since I had my recording stuff out to record this stitch, which I hope you'll check out, I thought since this one was pretty popular, I would go ahead and make a tutorial for it too. Multiples of 15 plus 20. So that means you're going to have to chain in multiples of 15, 15, 15, 15 until you've reached your desired width. And then when you're ready, chain 20 more. So I guess since the plus chain is also going to add some width, maybe stop just a little shy of your desired width. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I had two sets of 15 and I just added my plus 20. So for row 1, you want to begin by putting a double crochet cluster in the 5th chain from the hook. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in this 5th chain, go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into that 5th chain from the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. Then you're going to do that again in the same stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Go ahead and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then you're going to want to chain 1, and in that same stitch you want to do that double crochet cluster again. So in the same stitch, go ahead, yarn over, go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, then you'll yarn over, pull through only 2, and then yarn over, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have your 3 loops on your hook again. You'll yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. Now you have 2 double crochet clusters and a chain 1 space in the 5th chain from the hook. Now it says you want you to skip 2 and then double crochet cluster in the next. So skip 1, 2, and in this 3rd chain over, we're going to put your double crochet cluster in that stitch. Now chain 1, skip a stitch, and then the next double crochet cluster. So skip 1 chain and then do another double crochet cluster in the next chain. 3 loops on the hook, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so this is going to be the beginning of our lower peak. So we're not going to chain 1 after this one. We're just going to skip 4 chains. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th chain over, we're going to do another double crochet cluster. So put your double crochet cluster into this stitch, pull through all 3 loops here, and then we're going to chain 1. Do you want to chain 1? And then we'll be making our upper peaks. So let's skip 2, 1, 2, and then this 3rd chain over, we're going to be putting our double crochet cluster, pull through all 3 loops and chain 1. That's 1. We're going to do this 4 times. Then chain 1. That's 2. We'll do our next double crochet cluster, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1. And the final, you may have to push it down to fit another one, this last one in here. Pull through all 3 and chain 1. That's our upper peak. So then we're going to skip 2 and double crochet cluster, chain 1. So the 3rd one over, and you want to put a double crochet cluster into this stitch. Pull through all 3 loops, chain 1. And then skip a stitch, and then double crochet cluster again in the next. And that's going to end our repeat. And that's That's what it looked. Okay, we probably should chain one, I think, after that. Actually, no. Don't chain one after that last one, because I believe that is going to be, this is where we are here. So we're going to be doing our skip the lower peak without chaining. We'll be skipping 4 stitches here, and then we're going to be putting our double crochet cluster, chain 1, double crochet cluster, chain 1, then skip 2, and then put 4 double crochet chain 1 clusters in the next stitch. Then you'll skip 2, then you'll put a double crochet cluster, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then skip 4. Actually, double crochet cluster, don't chain 1. Not after this second double crochet cluster after your peak. If you've noticed, there will always be 2. There's a lower peak, there'll be 2. The upper peak, there'll be 2. And it'll keep going throughout the whole thing like that. So just remember, after your upper peak, the second double crochet cluster you do will not have a chain 1 after it. You're just going to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5th one over, you're going to start your double crochet cluster. Oh, let me back that. So 4 in the 5th one, we're going to start pulling through only the first 2 loops to do your double crochet cluster. That's the first one. Then you'll skip 1 stitch and then put your other double crochet cluster. And then chain 1, because this time we're going to be doing our up again. So now we're going to be skipping 2. So you'll skip 4 for the lower and then 2 before you start your upper. So skip 2, and then that same stitch, you're going to be putting 4 double crochet clusters and chain 1. So there's my first double crochet cluster, chain 1, that's 2. Double crochet cluster, that's 3. Double crochet cluster, that's 4. Oh, chain 1. Okay, and on this side of your peak, you'll also skip 2 and put your double crochet cluster in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, put a double crochet cluster in the next. And remember, this is the second cluster from the peak. So you won't chain 1 after this one. You're just going to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th one over. You'll put your double crochet cluster. Chain 1, skip 1, and you'll do your double crochet cluster. Let me just check here at the end of row when you have 3 chains left. Using the very last chain of the row, you're going to be putting double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then double crochet cluster, chain 1 again. So we'd be putting 2 double crochet clusters, chain 1 in the same stitch, and then I'm going to double crochet in the last chain of the row. So there's going to be a lot, because this is essentially going to be the end of your little up. It's kind of a peak, because this is where your upper peak would usually go. So you're kind of making it half of it at the very last stitch. So skip 2 stitches like you would for making your upper peak. And we're going to be doing all this work in the very last stitch of the row. So first you're going to be doing 2 double crochet clusters, chain 1. So there's my first double crochet cluster, chain 1. And then here's my second double crochet cluster, chain 1. And then in the same stitch, you're going to just put a double crochet. And then that'll end your row 1. And that's what it looks like. So you're starting from the upper, going down, then you go up and down, and you're ending on an up. So that is row 1. So for row 2, we're going to begin by chaining 4 and turning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4 and turn. And then this very first stitch of the row, in between this last double crochet, in that chain 1 space, put a double crochet cluster, chain 1, and double crochet cluster, all in the same stitch. And we're going to chain 1, and we're going to be skipping this very first set of double crochet cluster, this V, I guess, V stitch, and we're going to be using the stitches of our single double crochet clusters here, and we're going to be putting our double crochet clusters worked in this one. So we'll put our first double crochet cluster, chain 1 here, and then in the very next stitch we'll put our double crochet cluster in there. And since it's right before the lower peak here, you don't want to chain 1. Okay, so you've got your 2 cluster stitches in your cluster stitches here. And now this is our lower peak. So we're not going to be putting anything in this cluster stitch or this cluster stitch. We're going to just skip on over without chaining 1 and using this next cluster stitch. I'm going to be using this cluster stitch and then our first cluster stitch of our peak. Okay, so you want to be skipping over this whole 2 stitches here, and you're going to be putting a double crochet cluster in the very next double crochet cluster, and then chain 1, and that bridges the gap, and this becomes our new lower peak. So in the very next cluster, which is the first one of our, I guess, cluster shell, the very first one, we're going to be putting another double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then we're going to move into the center hole here, and we're going to make our new peak, which is going to consist of the same thing we did before, 4 double crochet clusters with a chain 1 in between. So that's our first, chain 1. So our second, chain 1. That's our third, chain 1. And this is our fourth, chain 1. So we used the very first one last time. So we're going to be using the very last one out of the 4. So we'll use this one and this one so that we can skip these 2 for our peak. So we're going to skip the very next DC cluster on our shell, and we're going to be using this last DC cluster of our shell to make our next cluster. Double crochet cluster and chain 1. And then in the very next one, see, these are the 2 peak ones here. So after this next double crochet cluster, you do not want to chain 1. So just pull through, skip these 2, and then the very next one, you're going to put your double crochet cluster and chain 1. Then again, you're going to be making your next cluster using the first DC cluster of our shell, chain 1, then move into the center. So skip this next one, and you're going to be skipping this last one on the other side of it, and we'll be using this last. So in this center, we're going to be making our new upper peak. So that's going to consist of double crochet, cluster, chain 1 4 times. So that was 1, that's 2. This is 3. And this is 4. Then chain 1, skip the next cluster, and then the next, we're going to be putting a double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then repeat again, double crochet cluster, but don't chain 1 this time, as we are going to skip these 2 and move on over to our next cluster on this side. And do our double crochet cluster, chain 1. Your next cluster is going to go like it always does. See, this, it may help you understand a little bit better, is this is like the beginning of the half of the 4 peaks. So this is like 2 out of the 4 peaks. And how we had to use the first of our peak, this is what we're going to be doing here. So you're going to be using the first of the peak, and then you'll be skipping the next. So you'll be using the first one here to make your very last double crochet cluster. Then you'll chain 1, and then working in this ending space here, you're gonna make your double crochet cluster, chain 1, double crochet cluster, oops, I did a double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then in the second chain of our 4, so not in the top chain, but the one just after the top chain, you'll put a double crochet in that one. You can actually work this all in the top chain and then move over one and put it here, or just do it in the space like I did. Either way, it's up to you. And that ends row 2. Now the repeat is going to be row 2 back and forth. So I'm going to show you the repeat for row 2. You'll always chain 4 and turn, and you're always going to be working in this first chain 1 space. So you'll be putting your double crochet cluster, chain 1, double crochet cluster, all worked in the first. It's essentially like half of your top upper peak when you begin a row. So you're going to skip the next one like you would on your regular peak, and we're going to be using the last peak, or the last double crochet of our peak. See, we have our 4. So essentially that one's like that. This is your ending of your peak. So you'll always be putting 1 there, double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then we'll need 1 more. So this is our 2 before the peak, before our lower peak. So this is our very next one. We'll put your double crochet cluster in that one as well, but don't chain 1 because this is our lower peak. We'll skip these 2 here and move over to this double crochet cluster, and this will chain 1 after, and this will make our new lower peak. So then you're going to double crochet cluster in the very next double crochet cluster and chain 1. And remember, this is our first double crochet cluster of our shell, and we'll be using the last double crochet cluster of our shell. And we'll be making our new peaks always in the middle. These 2 on either side of the middle will always be skipped. You'll never put a double crochet cluster here. So we're going to be skipping this first double crochet cluster, and we're going to be making our new peak. So double crochet cluster, chain 1, do that 4 times to create your new peak in this stitch. So that's 3, whoops. And this will be 4. Then you chain 1, skip the very next cluster, and the final cluster here will be where you begin your 1 of 2 clusters we have in between our upper and lower peaks. So we've got our first, then we've got to get our second one, so we'll do that in the very next cluster stitch. Because it's a lower peak, you won't chain 1, you'll skip these 2, and you're going to move right on over to the next cluster and chain 1. Then again, it brings you back up to your peak again. We'll be using the first double crochet cluster of our peak, chain 1, to make the 2 we need on this side. And then you'll skip the next cluster, and you'll be making your next peak. And then your new peak in that center stitch. So double crochet cluster and chain 1 in between 4 times. I'll chain 1, and this will be my 4th, and chain 1. Then you'll always skip the very next one, and then in the following double crochet cluster you'll make another double crochet cluster, chain 1. Then the very next double crochet cluster, make a double crochet cluster. This time don't chain 1, because we're here at the bottom. You're going to skip, and you'll do your double crochet cluster here, chain 1. Then the very next one you'll do your very last double crochet cluster, and then the very ending chain, again you'll be making your 2 double crochet clusters. So here's 1, 1, then chain 1, and do another double crochet cluster, chain 1. Now in the same space you can skip 1 chain or do it in the same space, either way, but I prefer to use the chain because it's more sturdier. So in the second chain from the top, you'll put your ending double crochet, and that's it. That you just chain 4 and repeat till you get it as big as you want. I hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to like and share, and please come check me out on other videos that I have and on my site. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I'm everywhere, so come check out all my stuff. I'd love to see you and hear from you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.